Commander Priya Khurana stood at the window of the Interstellar Defense Command's observation deck, watching the sunset paint Delhi's skyline in hues of orange and purple. To any alien observers monitoring Earth's communications, this was just another quiet evening at what they believed to be a primitive meteorological station. They couldn't have been more wrong. The quantum-encrypted message that flashed across her neural interface made her blood run cold. Operation Cradle compromised. Phase 0 initiated. Within seconds, reports flooded in from every continent. Tokyo, Lagos, Sao Paulo, London, Sydney. Children were vanishing without a trace. Not with dramatic light shows or the expected theatrics of advanced technology, but with the surgical precision that spoke of capabilities far beyond what humanity was supposed to possess. "Madam Commander," Lieutenant Reve Mehta's voice carried the weight of confirmation she'd been dreading. "The quantum signatures match. It's the hegemony." The Galactic hegemony, a collection of self-proclaimed, advanced civilizations that had been studying Earth for decades, believing humans to be an amusing primitive species worthy only of patronizing observation. Their ambassador, High Sovereign Xerix, had often commented on humanity's charming simplicity during diplomatic meetings. Priya allowed herself a grim smile. How many children? Initial estimates suggest 10 million, Commander. Ages 5 to 15. She closed her eyes, remembering the briefings, the contingency plans, the years of preparation for this exact scenario. The hegemony had finally shown their hand, believing Earth would respond like any other primitive civilization, with panic, chaos, and desperate pleas for help. "Execute silent protocol," she commanded. "All stations, initiate blackout procedures." Across the globe, Earth's communications fell silent. Satellite transmissions ceased. Radio waves died. Social media platforms went dark. To the watching galaxy, it appeared as if humanity had simply gone into shock. In the hegemony's Grand Council chamber, High Sovereign Xerix was probably feeling quite pleased with himself. After all, what could a species that had barely mastered spaceflight do against the most powerful coalition in the known galaxy? Deep beneath the streets of every major city on Earth, hidden quantum reactors hummed to life. In underground bases that no alien scan had ever detected, soldiers in advanced combat suits powered up systems that would make their observers' technology look primitive by comparison. "All sectors reporting ready, Commander," Rave announced. "The Phantom Fleet is awaiting your command." Priya activated her neural interface's full capability, connecting with the global defense network. Humanity had learned long ago that the best way to hide advanced technology was behind a facade of primitive struggle. While aliens watched humans launch chemical rockets and struggle with basic AI, quantum computers had been running beneath every major city, and consciousness-linked spacecraft had been hiding in dimensional pockets beyond conventional detection. "Send the message to all parent battalions," she ordered. "Operation Lullaby is now active." Across Earth, millions of parents received the call they had trained for in secret. Behind the scenes of normal family life, they had prepared for this possibility, knowing that humanity's children would be too tempting a target for the hegemony's arrogance. In orbit, cloaked sensors detected the hegemony's research vessels hovering at the edge of the solar system, their holds filled with Earth's children. They thought they were studying humanity's next generation. Instead, they had just awakened humanity's worst nightmare. Millions of parents with nothing left to lose and access to technology that would reshape the galaxy's understanding of primitive. "Signal from the parent coalition, Commander," Rave reported. "They're asking for deployment authorization." Priya nodded, her expression hardening. "Tell them, the lullaby ends. It's time to show the galaxy why you never take a human child." As she gave the order, quantum gates began opening across the solar system. The hegemony was about to learn that humanity's greatest deception wasn't hiding their technology, it was hiding their fury. The galaxy had often wondered why humans seemed so unconcerned with their primitive status. They were about to find out that the most dangerous predator isn't the one that shows its teeth, but the one that waits patiently for the perfect moment to strike. And now that moment had come. The hegemony's grand observation chamber erupted in chaos as their monitoring systems went dark. High Sovereign Zirix's crystalline form pulsed with agitation as report after report confirmed the impossible. Earth had vanished from their sensors. "Explain," he demanded, his multifaceted eyes focusing on Chief Observer Ingzathal. "How does an entire primitive planet simply disappear?" Before Ingzathal could respond, the chamber's quantum displays flickered to life, showing a woman in what appeared to be primitive military attire. The Hegemony Council collectively dismissed her appearance until they noticed the neural interfacing crown she wore. Technology they believed was centuries beyond human capability. "I am Commander Priya Khurana of Earth's Interstellar Defense Command," she announced, her voice carrying an edge that made several council members' crystalline forms shudder. "You have taken our children. This was your first and final mistake." Zirix attempted to maintain his patronizing tone. "My dear Primitive, I believe there's been a misunderstanding. We are merely conducting standard developmental research on lesser species." The hologram smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "Lesser species? Let me show you what a lesser species can do." Across the galaxy, hegemony research stations began reporting simultaneous breaches, not through their shields or walls, but through dimensional spaces they thought only they could access. Humanity's phantom fleet emerged from quantum shadows, their ships unlike anything the hegemony had ever encountered. In the Centauri Research Facility, Dr. Rashmi Patel led the first Parent Battalion. Her quantum battle suit, disguised for years as ordinary medical scrubs during her primitive hospital shifts, activated to full capacity. The facility's impenetrable defenses fell in seconds to weapons based on principles the hegemony hadn't even theorized yet. "This is Parent Battalion Alpha," she reported through the quantum network. "We've located the first stasis chambers. 2,000 children confirmed at this facility." Similar reports began flooding in from across hegemony space. The parents of Earth, hidden for years behind a mask of ordinary civilian life, revealed themselves as warriors equipped with technology that made their observers' finest achievements look like children's toys. In orbit around Jupiter, Fleet Admiral James Running Bear commanded the Phantom Fleet's main assault force from the bridge of the INS Thunderchild. The ship, like thousands of others, had been constructed in dimensional spaces beyond conventional detection. For decades, humanity had built and trained while presenting an elaborate facade of primitive space exploration to their watchers. "All ships, execute Operation Cradle's Wake," he ordered. "Remember your training. They took our children. Show them why that was their last mistake." The hegemony's defense fleets found themselves engaged with an enemy that seemed to appear and disappear at will, using principles of physics they had dismissed as primitive theoretical mistakes in human scientific papers. Each human ship was crewed by parents who had lived double lives: accountants, teachers, and office workers by day, quantum space pilots by night. Back in the council chamber, Zirix watched in horror as reports of facility after facility falling came in. "Impossible. Your species barely understands basic spaceflight. Your physics papers are full of errors." Commander Khurana's hologram laughed. "Those weren't errors, High Sovereign. They were deliberately published to make you underestimate us. While you watched our chemical rockets and smugly documented our primitive nature, we built something far beyond your understanding. In a hegemony facility near the Orion Nebula, Dr. Marcus Wong, who the aliens knew as a simple elementary school teacher, led his team through quantum-shifted corridors. His parent battalion moved with precision, born of years of secret training, their weapons utilizing principles of reality manipulation that the hegemony had never imagined possible. Remember, he transmitted to his team, "Every child here is one of our own." The hegemony thought they were studying humanity's next generation. Instead, they're about to become a lesson in human history. The hegemony's grand defense fleet, pride of their civilization, found itself outmaneuvered at every turn. Human ships phased through their unbreakable shields using principles the hegemony had dismissed as primitive misunderstandings of quantum mechanics. Parent battalions breached their most secure facilities using technologies hidden beneath a veneer of simple family life. "You see, High Sovereign," Commander Kurana continued, her hologram now showing traces of the advanced technology hidden beneath her simple uniform, "we learned long ago that the best way to protect ourselves was to be underestimated. You watched us launch rockets while we built quantum ships. You laughed at our physics papers while we mastered dimensional engineering. You documented our primitive family structures while we trained the most formidable fighting force the galaxy has ever seen." In the Hegemony Council chamber, realization dawned in Xerx's crystalline features. Every human parent they had observed, every simple family unit they had documented, every primitive technology they had dismissed, it had all been part of an elaborate deception. "The children," he whispered, his crystalline form paling. "You knew we would target them eventually." "Of course we knew," Korana replied. "Parents will do anything to protect their children. We spent generations preparing for this moment, hiding our true capabilities behind a mask of primitive simplicity. And now, High Sovereign, you're about to learn why every spacefaring race should have a single, unbreakable rule." She leaned forward, her neural interface crown now fully visible. "Never, ever take a human child." The hegemony's most secure research complex, on Proxima Centauri, wasn't just falling. It was being systematically dismantled. Lieutenant Kavita Sharma, disguised for years as a kindergarten teacher in Mumbai, led her parent battalion through its quantum-shielded corridors with ruthless efficiency. Section Delta secured, she reported through her neural interface. 87 children recovered. Medical team incoming. The complex's alien defenders had expected primitive human weapons, projectiles, perhaps, or crude energy beams. Instead, they faced weapons that manipulated the fabric of reality itself. Each member of Kavita's team was a parent whose mundane day job had masked years of advanced combat training. In the facility's central control room, Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka, known to his neighbors as a quiet bookstore owner, interfaced with the alien systems using technology that the hegemony had believed impossible for humans to conceive. His fingers danced across quantum-entangled surfaces as he extracted the facility's database. "Commander Kurana," he transmitted, "I found something. The hegemony, they weren't just studying our children. They were trying to understand something unique about human consciousness." Back on Earth, in the hidden command center beneath Delhi, Commander Kurana processed this information through her neural network. The pieces began falling into place. Decades of observation, the specific targeting of children, the hegemony's obsession with human development. "All parent battalions," she broadcast, "initiate Protocol Stardust. Our children aren't just test subjects. They're the key to something the hegemony fears." Across multiple star systems, human parents who had mastered technologies far beyond their supposed capabilities began implementing the new protocol. The rescue operations transformed into a coordinated data-gathering mission, each team now searching for answers while freeing their children. In the Sirius system, former professional gamer turned quantum warrior Jin Park led his team through a hegemony research wing. Their neural interfaces detected patterns in the alien data streams that revealed a startling truth. "Command, we found their primary research files," he reported. "The hegemony discovered something about human children's brains, some kind of quantum resonance they'd never seen before. They think our kids are evolutionary bridges to a higher state of consciousness." On board the INS Thunderchild, Admiral Running Bear received this information with growing understanding. That's why they targeted the children specifically. They're not just studying us, they're trying to understand what we're becoming. The revelation spread through the human fleet like wildfire. Each parent realized that their children weren't just random test subjects. They were living proof of humanity's next evolutionary step, a development that terrified the supposedly superior hegemony. In a facility orbiting Alpha Centauri, Dr. Isabella Romano, who had maintained her cover as a simple coffee shop owner for years, made another breakthrough. Our team had discovered chambers filled with complex quantum measurement devices, all focused on studying the unique properties of human children's neural patterns. The hegemony's entire understanding of consciousness is being rewritten by what they're finding in our children, she reported. They're detecting quantum entanglement patterns that shouldn't be possible in organic brains. Our children are naturally developing abilities their most advanced technology can't replicate. Commander Corana stood in the control center, watching as reports flooded in from parent battalions across the galaxy. The hegemony hadn't just made a tactical error in taking their children. They had revealed their own greatest fear. Humanity wasn't just advancing. It was evolving in ways that defied the established laws of the galaxy. "All units," she broadcast, "modify rescue protocols. We're not just taking our children back. We're taking everything they know about what our children can do." The hegemony thought they were studying subjects. Instead, they've documented the next step in human evolution. Parent battalions adjusted their operations with practiced precision. Years of maintaining their cover as ordinary citizens had taught them the value of adaptability. Teachers, nurses, office workers, and shop owners moved through advanced alien facilities with the skill of elite special forces, gathering data while liberating their children. In the Hegemony Council chamber, High Sovereign Xerix watched in mounting horror as facility after facility fell. The humans weren't just fighting back, they were systematically extracting every piece of research, every observation, every scrap of data about their children's unique capabilities. "You don't understand what you're dealing with," he transmitted desperately to Commander Corana. "The quantum resonance patterns in your children's minds, they're beyond anything we've ever encountered. They could destabilize the entire balance of galactic power." "No, High Sovereign," Corana replied, her voice carrying the weight of a species whose true potential was finally being revealed. "You don't understand what you've awakened. Those aren't just test results you're seeing. That's not just unusual neural activity. What you're witnessing is the next chapter in human evolution, and you just showed every parent in our species exactly what their children are capable of becoming." Across the stars, human parents continued their advance, each of them now fighting not just to rescue their children, but to secure humanity's future. The hegemony had sought to study what they considered an emerging threat. Instead, they had catalyzed the very evolution they feared, and awakened a force they couldn't hope to contain. The combined might of human parents armed with advanced technology and the knowledge of their children's true potential. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their hidden technology or their deceptive capabilities. It was the fierce, unstoppable drive of parents fighting to secure their children's future, a future that now promised far more than anyone had imagined possible. The first sign that something unprecedented was happening came from a hegemony facility in the Pleiades cluster. The stasis fields containing the human children began to resonate at frequencies that shouldn't have been possible. Dr. Nadia Volkov, who had maintained her cover as a small-town librarian for decades, watched in amazement as her neural interface detected patterns of quantum entanglement spreading between the awakening children. "Command, you need to see this," she transmitted. "The children, they're connecting with each other. Somehow, the hegemony's attempts to study them have triggered something dormant in their consciousness." In stasis chambers across the galaxy, similar phenomena began occurring. The children's minds, rather than being suppressed by the alien technology, were adapting to it, using it as a conduit to reach out to one another across vast distances. Commander Kurana received the reports with growing understanding. They didn't just take our children, she realized. They gave them a network. On board the INS Thunderchild, Admiral Running Bear watched as his sensors detected quantum resonance patterns connecting rescued children across light years of space. All parent battalions, he ordered, adjust neural shields to frequency Delta 9. Let them connect, but protect them from hegemony interference. In the Delhi Command Center, Commander Kurana turned to our chief scientist, Dr. Omar Hassan, formerly known to his community as just another taxi driver. "What exactly are we seeing?" "The hegemony's stasis technology," he explained, his fingers dancing across quantum interfaces. "It works by suspending consciousness in a quantum state. But human children's minds aren't just surviving in that state, they're thriving in it. They're using the hegemony's own network to create something entirely new." Across the galaxy, parent battalions reported similar observations. Children emerging from stasis weren't traumatized or weakened. They were changed, enhanced. Their natural ability to perceive quantum states, previously dormant, had been awakened by the very technology meant to study them. In a facility orbiting Vega, Senior Lieutenant Fatima Rodriguez, who had spent years posing as a food truck vendor, led her team through corridors now humming with unprecedented energy. The children in their care were awakening not just to consciousness, but to abilities that defied conventional physics. "They can see the quantum realm," she reported, watching as rescued children pointed out hidden dimensional pockets that even advanced sensors struggled to detect. The hegemony didn't just study them. They accidentally taught them how to access their latent abilities. High Sovereign Xerix, watching from the increasingly isolated council chamber, finally understood the magnitude of their miscalculation. "Stop the awakening," he ordered desperately across all channels. "Their consciousness is cascading across our entire network." But it was far too late. The quantum network that the hegemony had used to study human children had become a catalyst for their evolution. Each awakened child added their consciousness to a growing web of quantum-entangled minds, creating something that transcended normal space-time. Dr. Hassan's analysis confirmed their wildest hopes. "The children aren't just communicating," he reported. "They're creating a new form of consciousness, a quantum-enabled hive mind that operates outside normal physics. The very thing the hegemony feared most. They made it possible." Commander Kurana watched as the rescue operation transformed into something far more profound. "All units," she broadcast, "shift to Phase Omega. Our priority now isn't just rescue. It's protection and nurturing of these new abilities." Parent battalions adapted their tactics. using their advanced technology not just to extract children, but to maintain the delicate quantum fields now supporting their enhanced consciousness. Years of hiding their true capabilities had prepared them for this moment of transformation. In the Orion facility, Dr. Marcus Wone watched in wonder as a group of rescued children instinctively manipulated quantum fields to create protective bubbles around themselves. "They're not just subjects anymore," he transmitted. "They're becoming something beyond what either humanity or the hegemony imagined possible." The hegemony's worst fears were being realized, but not in the way they had expected. The human children weren't becoming weapons or threats. They were evolving into beings who could perceive and interact with the quantum fabric of reality itself. Their natural empathy and creativity, combined with their newly awakened abilities, promised not destruction but transformation. Admiral Running Bear, coordinating the fleet's movements through quantum space, received a surprising message from a group of rescued children. Through their newly formed quantum network, they had discovered something about the nature of space-time that even humanity's most advanced scientists hadn't theorized. "They're not just awakening," he reported to command. "They're teaching us, showing us aspects of reality we never imagined." The hegemony didn't just fail to contain human potential. They accidentally created an environment where it could fully flourish. As the rescue operations continued, it became clear that the galaxy was witnessing not just a military operation, but the birth of a new form of consciousness. Human children, their natural quantum sensitivity enhanced by alien technology, were becoming bridges between normal space-time and the quantum realm. Commander Corana faced the Hegemony Council through quantum projection, her expression both stern and triumphant. "You sought to study what you feared," she declared. "Instead, you've helped create something beautiful. Our children aren't your test subjects. They're the future of consciousness itself, and every parent in our fleet will die before letting you interfere with that future." The galaxy was changing, not through force or technological superiority, but through the unexpected awakening of human potential. And at the heart of this transformation were the very children the hegemony had sought to study and contain, now becoming something that would reshape the understanding of consciousness itself. The Grand Council Chamber of the Hegemony, once a symbol of absolute galactic authority, now pulsed with an entirely different kind of energy. Quantum fields rippled through its crystalline architecture as humanity's transformed children interfaced with the very fabric of spacetime itself. High Sovereign Xerix, his crystalline form dulled with the recognition of defeat, watched as a young human girl named Luna Petal stepped through a quantum portal into the chamber. Behind her, Commander Corana and Admiral Running Bear stood protectively, but it was clear who now held the true power. "Your fear shaped your actions." Luna spoke, her voice carrying harmonics that resonated through quantum space. "You saw what we could become, and you tried to control it. But in doing so, you gave us the very thing we needed to reach our potential." The quantum network connecting the rescued children had evolved into something far beyond what either humanity or the hegemony had imagined. Each child had become a living bridge between normal space-time and the quantum realm, their consciousness expanding to encompass realities that the hegemony's most advanced technology could barely detect. Dr. Nadia Volkov, monitoring the quantum fields through her neural interface, marveled at the patterns she witnessed. "They're not just communicating," she reported. "They're restructuring the very foundations of how consciousness interacts with reality." Across the galaxy, rescued children were teaching their parents and protectors things that defied conventional physics. The quantum technology that humanity had hidden for generations was being transformed by insights that only the children's evolved consciousness could provide. "We understand now," Luna continued, addressing not just the Hegemony Council, but all spacefaring civilizations watching through quantum channels. Your society was built on the principle of control, controlling evolution, controlling consciousness, controlling the future itself. But consciousness cannot be controlled. It can only be nurtured. Commander Karana stepped forward, her neural interface synchronizing with the quantum fields the children had created. "The galaxy stands at a crossroads," she announced. "The old order, built on fear and domination, must give way to something new. Something that our children can show us, if we're willing to learn." The Hegemony's research facilities, once centers of clinical observation and control, were being transformed. Under the guidance of the quantum-linked children, these spaces became nexuses of learning and growth, where representatives from all species could study the new understanding of consciousness that humanity's children had unlocked. Admiral Running Bear, watching from the bridge of the Thunderchild, received reports from across human space. The parent battalions, their mission of rescue complete, were now serving as guardians and students. Their advanced technology, combined with the children's quantum insights, was creating something unprecedented, a true bridge between species and consciousness. "Your greatest mistake," Luna addressed Xerix directly, "wasn't taking us. It was believing that evolution could be controlled, that consciousness could be contained. We are not weapons to be feared or resources to be studied. We are the next step in the galaxy's journey toward understanding itself." The quantum network that connected the children began to expand, offering itself to other species, not as a tool of control, but as a means of communication and growth. Young minds from across the galaxy, free from the prejudices of their elders, began to join the network, creating a tapestry of consciousness that transcended traditional barriers. Dr. Hassan, analyzing the quantum data streams, made a startling discovery. "The children aren't just creating a new form of communication," he reported. "They're establishing a framework for galactic cooperation based on shared consciousness rather than imposed authority." The Hegemony Council chamber, once a place of judgment and control, transformed into the first hub of this new network. The crystalline beings who had sought to contain human potential now found themselves invited to share in its expansion. "We offer you a choice," Commander Karana declared to the assembled galactic representatives. "Continue down the path of control and fear, or join us in building something new. Our children have shown us that consciousness knows no boundaries of species or space. They offer you not submission, but partnership." Luna raised her hand, and the quantum fields rippled with possibility. "The universe is not a resource to be controlled," she said, her words carrying the weight of newfound wisdom. "It's a conversation waiting to happen. We invite you to join it." High Sovereign Xerix, his crystalline form catching the light of new possibilities, made his choice. Slowly, he stepped down from his elevated position and approached Luna. "We sought to understand you through control," he acknowledged. "Teach us instead to understand through connection." Across the galaxy, the parent battalions began a new mission. The quantum ships and advanced technology that had hidden humanity's true capabilities now served as bridges between species. The children, their consciousness expanded by the very means intended to study them, became teachers of a new way of seeing the universe. Commander Karana, standing in the transformed council chamber, sent a final message to Earth. "Operation Lullaby is complete, but our journey is just beginning. Our children haven't just been rescued. They've become the architects of a new galactic order, one based not on dominance, but on the shared exploration of consciousness itself." The galaxy watched as humanity's greatest deception gave way to its greatest gift, a new understanding of consciousness that promised to transform all spacefaring civilizations. The children who had been taken as subjects had returned as teachers, offering not revenge but revelation. And in the quantum fields that now connected conscious minds across the stars, a new song began, not a lullaby of sleep and control, but an awakening chorus of infinite possibility.